Welcome back, guys. Storytime here, and today we are reading 5 true creepy Reddit stories. And these are all submitted on Reddit by unknown users, and I'll say their names and stuff. But I want to say thank you guys for stopping by. It's very much appreciated, and I just want to say if you guys could go and check out my last story, which was yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't know. I still don't even know what my schedule's gonna be because I have another YouTube channel too. So yeah, basically, I'm sorry if I butcher anything. I'm not that strong of a reader, which I mean I can read obviously, but sometimes I tend to mispronunciate some words, and I try to correct it with whether it's like through editing or just correct myself. But enough of hearing about me. We're gonna get right into it. So let's get started. Number 5. Creepy Pizza Guy. Submitted by unknown user 22121. First time poster here. My name is Jose, and I am 16 years old, and I live in Arizona. So, it was a Friday night, and my cousin Jason called me and said if you want to come to his minor party with his 2 friends and me. I didn't want to go, but I accepted his offer because I was really bored at home. My mom dropped me off at Jason's house. I was really happy because I got along with everyone. We stayed up really late playing video games. Around 11 p.m. we were hungry, so Jason asked his mom if he could order a pizza. At around 11 p.m. we were hungry, so Jason asked his mom if she could order us a pizza. She said yes, but she said that she was going to sleep because she was tired. So she ordered it and paid for it through credit card. After what seemed like forever, we heard a knock on the door. Everyone was playing except for me, so I had to go get the pizza. I looked through the living room window only to see a tall man with thick gray messy hair. I had a weird vibe, but I saw that he was holding the pizza in his hand, so I opened the door. He greeted me with a smile and gave me the pizza. I said thanks. As soon as I was about to close the door, he said,
"Hey, you know I had a really long day. Could I come inside and get a glass of water?"
Red flags were popping in my head. I told him that I would bring him a glass of water and for him to wait outside. After I took the pizza to my kitchen, I filled a glass of water and made my way to the living room. My heart almost stopped when I saw this man sitting on my cousin's living room couch. I said, "Whoa, what the fuck, man? I told you to wait outside." He ignored me and I said, "Get the fuck out. This isn't even my house." He looked up at me, got up, and left. After I made sure to lock the front door, I took the pizza to Jason's room and told everyone what just happened. They all looked at me as if I was crazy, but they believed me. I forgot about it all and we all went to sleep after eating pizza. At about 2 a.m., I woke up to a noise in Jason's front yard. I went to his living room window and saw a black car parked in his driveway. I was so confused and kept staring outside until someone came out. I almost cried when I saw that it was the same man who brought us the pizza. He made his way to the front door, but didn't knock. He didn't notice me, so I closed the blinds and ran to Jason's room. I woke him up and told him what was going on. He ran with me to his living room window, and sure enough, that man is standing there. He was going to wake up his mom, but I told him not to, because his mom had had a long day. Out of the blue, Jason coughed, and that man turned towards us. We stood there like statues. He smiled, waved, and showed up with a bag with something in it. He left it in front of the doorstep and ran to his car and sped off. We were scared shitless, but we didn't wake anyone up. We didn't feel comfortable getting whatever the man had left outside, so we waited until sunrise to get it. The next day, it was about 7 a.m. and everyone except Jason and I were still asleep. We got the bag, and inside the bag was a DVD titled Pizza.exe. We were so scared to even play it, so Jason put the DVD on top of his closet and never played it. We told everyone about this, and we still haven't played the DVD and probably never will. I'm still good friends with Jason's friends, but this story is only a secret kept between Jason and I. So creepy pizza delivery guys who left the DVD at 2 a.m., let's never meet again. Number 4. A Shed in the Woods, submitted by the lesbian writer. This isn't my story, but one my grandmother told me that happened to her late husband, my grandfather that died before I was born. My grandpa grew up in extremely rural Oklahoma. When he was in high school, he and a few of his buddies decided to go hunting in the Ozarks. They were always cautioned of the panthers that inhabited the area of the woods, and so began to get nervous when they heard something screaming in the distance. The screaming was clearly coming from panthers, but it had shaken up their nerves a little bit. Later it began to rain, so they decided to head back to town for church the next day. The storm had really begun to pick up, completely drenching them, and the lightning was continuous. Due to this and their already nervous dispositions, they decided to stay in a shed they found nearby in complete darkness. A few days after they had returned to town, word had gotten around that a dead man had been found in the forest where they had been hunting. As more information surfaced, it turned out that the man had been found in a shed and was the same shed my grandpa and his friends had stayed in. The body was freshly dead, so that explained why they hadn't smelled anything. He had died of natural causes, although I questioned this part of the story because who dies of natural causes in some random shed in the woods? My grandma told me that he's always happy that he never saw the body, and that since the man was from the town he grew up in, he would have nightmares about what he would have looked like. Number 3. They had called him Creepy Freddy, submitted by Kayak Girl 900. This happened very recently and is still very fresh in my memory. My name is Simeone, and I'm 20 years old. I live on the countryside in an idyllic village where half of the houses are vacation homes. Not much happened here, but if you enjoy the nature, it's great. I'm an outdoorsy kind of woman, my favorite element being water. I do kayaking, diving, swimming, and anything else water related I can get my hands on. I was on my way home from my night shift. I got this job just for the summer at a halfway house. It's a home for 8 recovering addicts, and there has to be always 2 people working there at night too, just in case. It's usually very calm. We play cards, watch TV, cook, etc. Easy money. So back to the topic, I was driving home, and as I always do, I stopped at a little secluded lake for a swim. I can never resist a good swim and always got a bikini in my car. This lake isn't very huge, but crystal clear and surrounded by beautiful forest area. You would never know it was there if no one told you. The little road that leads down to the beach is narrow and well hidden. As a result, there's almost never anyone there, apart from the occasional dog walker. I had only just started to swim out into the lake when I felt that my car key that I keep tied onto a piece of string and tied around my ankle didn't feel tight enough. So I was afraid it would slip off my ankle and be lost. So instead of swimming straight out into the lake, I quickly made my way around to the little rocky part of the headland. Not sure that word correctly describes it, but then again, my English is limited, so bear with me. If the lake is slightly L-shaped, I was in the angle and could see through to the beach and car. As I fasten the string better, I look up towards my car. I'm now in a hidden spot not far from the beach and the car, but hidden behind a corner so I can see the car from the side. I didn't see him at first. I had to squint to make sure it wasn't an illusion, a trick of my imagination. But no, squatting behind my SUV was a man in a bright yellow hoodie that I recognized. I didn't see his face, of course, and it was too far away to actually see who it was anyways, but I recognized the hoodie. It was Creepy Freddy. He was only 17 but very unstable. He hadn't returned from his visit to his parents the day before. We had called the police, of course, but since he usually turned up on his own after a few days of freedom and drugs, the police often advise us to wait and see. He had earned the nickname Creepy Freddy after assaulting a girl with a scythe for no other reason than that he felt she was too beautiful. She wasn't badly injured, but still creepy indeed. He had a long history of drug-induced violent outbursts, and even if he was nice enough when sober, he was a nightmare when he wasn't. I thought about trying to get up, leave the car, and try to walk towards the main road, but what if he spotted me and ran after me? I had no idea if he was fit or not, and I was barefoot, and my orange bikini would be so easy to spot. I decided against it. The risk of ending up face to face with a probably drugged, violent, and possibly armed Freddy was too big of a risk. I considered my options and realized there was only one: to swim across the lake to reach the little cluster of vacation cottages that occupied the opposite beach. As quietly as I could, I started to swim. The swim took me over 90 minutes, and I kept turning around to see if I was being followed. I reached the other beach, exhausted and cold. I walked up the sandy beach as a young mom and her kid spotted me. I explained the situation, and she phoned the police and fed me scones and coffee, and the best waffles I've ever had. Police arrived to find Freddy gone and all 4 of my tires slashed. I resigned from my job at the halfway house, and I hope we never meet again. Freddy is, as far as I know, still not found. Number 2. Persistence Food Court Creep, submitted by TVD Fan 18. To start off, my best friend and I are 17 and 16 respectively, and we are what I would term as creep magnets. This is just one of the hundreds of encounters we've had with creeps. We were in the food court in the late hours of the evening with my best friend's mom. The mall we were at wasn't the most crowded, and we passed by many men of the creepy type who were just smirking but refrained from following after they noticed an adult present was with us. Anyway, at the food court, my best friend and I were standing in front of McDonald's, which is like the restaurant we walk towards without giving a second thought, and we were standing in front of it, not yet standing in the line to order while we were making up our minds on what to eat. Being a magnet for creeps gave us the skill of noticing men or adolescent boys staring at us for far longer than what we deemed normal or appropriate. We both saw the same boy staring at us quite intently from the line of the next restaurant, and from what I recall, he couldn't have been more than a few years older than us. The fact that he was with his family put us at ease, and we forgot about him. We thought a boy with his family isn't likely to try something creepy. I noticed him earlier on, simply for his resemblance to someone I dislike. While we both were talking, we could see him ask his mom for money, and he walked into the direction and soon joined the McDonald's line to order. Both of us were quite surprised at the same fact that he was clearly standing in the line with his family in the next restaurant, but it wasn't something to be worried about, so we didn't find it creepy of him. We finally make up our minds and stand in line right behind him, and he kept on talking till we realized the boy has now whipped out his phone and raised it in the air. I could see quite clearly as I didn't wear my glasses, but I did notice his front camera was on, and he was taking a picture of himself with his arm unusually high up in the air. He proceeds to order, and so do we. At this time, my gut instinct told me that he was a weirdo. Unfortunately, we had to stand right behind him for our food. My best friend's mom said she wanted to order from KFC, which was perpendicular from McDonald's, and both of us jumped at the chance of escaping from this creep. We told her we would get her food for her if she stood in line for us at McDonald's. We stand in line at KFC, glad that we got rid of that creep, till we notice him getting a measly ice cream and making his way towards us once again to stand in line, now at KFC. Both of us looked shocked at his boldness. Or it might have been stupidity if he thought we didn't notice him following us. He orders another tribal food item from the menu and leans over the counter to speak to the employee in raw Hindu, an Indian language. We couldn't understand what he was saying. The dialect is commonly used in the rural areas, not in cities. He was still staring at us at this time. For some reason, I had focused my attention on something else, but my best friend kept an eye on him. Once again, he lifts up his phone camera in the air, and my best friend noticed the frame including not only him grinning widely, but also both of us clearly seen. My best friend quickly pulled me away, and I was clueless as to what was happening till later when she told me. We grabbed her mom's food and sat down with her when we noticed him in front of us, casually walking back and forth, smirking the whole time, which put us both on edge. That's when I learned he might have successfully taken a picture, and both of us wanted nothing more than to stuff ourselves and get the hell out of there. Thinking back on it, I was just angry at myself for not confronting him. He was very obvious about taking a picture of both of us. To the boy who tried to take a picture of my best friend and I without our consent, let's hope we don't see you for your sake. I learned quite a few skills you don't want to experience since I last saw you. Number 1. I don't open my curtains anymore. Submitted by Skyrim76. I grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania, living in a rural part of a town with 4 homes in a mile radius of me. I was 14 when this happened, and it was around 3 in the morning on a December night during Christmas break. It was just like any other night at this time. I was up late playing Elder Scrolls and enjoying my time before I went back to school. I always kept my curtains open at all times, mainly because I was too lazy to get up and shut all of them. I remember distinctively that I was defeating Alduin when a scraping noise was present outside of my window. It was faint at first, but drew closer to my home in a span of 25 seconds. I paused the game so I could look out my window. I saw a man in his 50s or 60s, dressed in ragged clothes, with long, unkempt white hair that merged his beard and his head hair together. He carried a metal baseball bat or an axe, and walked with a limp. I knew all of my neighbors, and he wasn't one of them. I watched him walk all the way down the street and to the corner. A few minutes later, the scraping came back. I was getting scared now, and waited for him to come 50 feet from my house before I looked out. The moment I looked out, he began laughing loudly, and then stopped in front of my home, and looked straight into my window, still laughing. I stood there frozen, unsure what to do. He stared into my window for a few more seconds and continued down the road. As soon as he was out of sight, I turned off my console, turned off my lights, closed my curtains, and was ready to dial 911. Sure enough, he came back. But this time, he came to my yard and screamed,
"Where'd you go, little girl? Don't you want to stare some more?"
This was followed by more laughing, and he went around the block a few more times. I've never seen him after that night. I moved 6 months after the incident, and to this day, I always kept my curtains closed. So, creepy laughing man, let's never meet again. Storytime here again, and thank you guys so much for sticking all the way to the end. And if you guys like my narrations and how I edit them, please drop a big thumbs up on this video. These edits actually take longer than you expect. If you guys liked me to go in depth in how I edit them, why don't you just leave a comment saying, and I could show you how to make your own if you would like to become a YouTuber and do these, or even anything else. But again, please drop a thumbs up on this video for all the time it took me to edit. Literally right now as I'm recording this, it is almost 3 o'clock in the morning. And I would like to tell you guys, if you guys would want any specific stories, or if you guys have your own stories and you'd like me to read them, drop a comment below or even tweet me. My Twitter and all the links that I have are down in the description below. You can always go and check those out. You guys can DM me personal stories, or even I'll probably, if you guys want, I can set up an email. If you guys would like to send me specific stories so I could read yours. And again, if you guys haven't seen my last video, please go check that out. That video took me a long time to edit too, even though it's short. But I mean, just all the stuff that I put into it, and it takes me a long time. And I really appreciate feedback. Whether you can leave me anything, you could say you hate the video and tell me a reason why, and I could possibly change upon the reason you don't like it. You know, we can work together. All criticism is fine by me. And again, sorry if there were parts where I kind of like stumbled or stuttered a little bit. I tried to correct it as best as I possibly could. That's the reason why I'm up so late, because I go through the edit afterwards and I cut it to where it's shorter, or like I cut it to the point where it sounds fluent, like I'm actually talking. Like I don't want to pause and then pick right back up because it sounds retarded. But yeah, if you guys actually stuck to this end, please leave a comment saying anything nice, dude. Anything. You can leave anything. It's not that big of a deal. Either leave a like or drop a dislike. Either way, I'll still improve and I'll keep doing these. Whether you guys like to see daily videos or even like twice a week, you can always say. You can either say in the discussion tab of my channel, or you can just leave a comment, or even DM me or tweet me. I don't care. You can either do whatever you want, but I gotta go. And you guys probably already clicked off. I mean, I would have done it too. I want to listen to this guy. No, I'm just kidding. But again, thank you guys. I love you all. And thanks for giving my channel a shot. And yeah, don't forget, watch out behind you.